Hi, this is the 13th Wolfman, and today I'm doing another top 5. That's right. It's another list. This is a non-horror list. This is going to be something I'm going to be doing. I'm going to do a few non-horror ones just to spice things up a little bit, throw it so we don't get a little worn out with all the horror stuff. So this is going to be the top 5 cool movie cars. When I say cool, I'm talking like a muscle car or something that's got a little giddy up in its go, So we'll just right out of the gate, bang, right? So what are we going to say is the number 5 out of the top 5 movie cars? Let's see. I say this: the 1970 Dodge Challenger that Barry Newman drove in Vanishing Point. All white with the Hemi, shaker hood. Beautiful car. It's number 5. Number 4. Number 4 has got to be probably one of the coolest cars ever created. And it's really cool because it's an American car built in a foreign country. And that would be Max Rockatansky's car from the Road Warrior. Now that's what it was called here in America. It's the second movie. See, Mad Max bombed here in the U.S. So when the second movie came out, they wanted to give it a different title so that we wouldn't associate it with the first one. So they called it the Road Warrior. But everywhere else on this giant globe that we call Earth, it was called Mad Max 2. So the 1973 Ford XB with the Ford Falcon hood, yeah, that's number 4. Number 3. Number 3's got to be the '69 Dodge Charger that Vin Diesel, a.k.a. Dominic Toretto, flipped in the Fast and the Furious. That big old thing with the Mopar engine, the blower, the whole thing, man. When that movie came out on DVD, I'm kicking it back at my buddy's place, so we're watching, and I go, dude, can you go frame by frame by this? So we stopped the movie, and we go frame by frame by frame, real slow, as the car hits that semi and just does the full flip. We watched frame by. It took us like, I don't know, 5-6 minutes to get through this frame. But all of a sudden, the front end's coming down like this. And we're like, oh, right there, man. You could just see right there. That's where the whole front suspension just kissed the upper part. So it was terrible to watch that car get wrecked, but it was a beautiful car. And there's been a lot of Dodge Chargers in movies. There's the black Dodge Charger and Bullet. I know people are saying, what about the General Lee? Well, I'm sorry, but the TV General Lee was a lot better than the movie General Lee, so it's omitted. We're talking about movie cars. So, number 2. That's right, we're down to 2. Number 2 is the 1950 Mercury that Sylvester Stallone drove in Cobra as Marianne Cobretti. It's 1985. He's kicking around through the streets of Venice Beach. Yeah, man. He destroyed this beautiful 50 lead sled, man, and it was a beautiful gray with a nice big car. He had nitrous not before anybody else, but I mean, no one was using it, Like the people that made Fast and the Furious thought they were the ones that came up with it first. Yeah, I like that one. So this beautiful 50 Merc gets destroyed, but it looks good, man. He's got the big old stainless steel looking hubcap rims, just so the whole car just looks like it's one piece of metal. Yeah, man, that's number 2. So if that's number 2, you maybe wonder to yourself, well, What is number one? I mean, let's look. We got Kowalski's car at 5. We got Max Rockatansky's car from Road Warrior, aka Mad Max 2, at 4. We've got the 1969 Dodge Charger that Dominic Toretto destroys at Fast and the Furious from 3. At 3, I mean. We got the 50 Merc at 2. So what comes in at number 1? Number 1 is number 1 because it, much like the car that's in the last place and third place, these were cars that were available to everybody to buy if you had the money. You know, you could buy Kowalski's car. You could buy the 69 Charger. You could buy the 1950 Merc, but you're going to put some money into it before it looks and drives as beautiful as that thing did. The car I'm talking about, it's 1968. The king of cool is behind the wheel. It's Hunter Green, Shelby. I think I just gave it away. Mustang, that's right. It is Steve McQueen's Mustang from the 1968 movie Bullet. Yeah. That car was cool. That car was sleek. That car was there to be driven. And they drove it right, man. They didn't bumble it around just down the road. They used that skinny pedal that's on the right. You know, the one that makes the car go. That one in the middle? No, man. Brakes are for sissies. At least in that car and at that time it was. That was a beautiful car. I would love to see Chad McQueen just say, hey, you know, Steve's son, say, hey, here's the car, you know. And you know what? I mean, it's a top 5 list. And I love doing top 5 because it makes it really hard to decide on what things you're gonna choose. You know, I had to admit a lot of things. There are some cars I didn't put in here because, unlike the other cars that I chose, like Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters, I'm sorry, but to me, it wasn't a central character in the movie. Unlike the DeLorean and Back to the Future, but again, it's one of those cars where it's a cool car, but in order for me to get a DeLorean to look like that, I'm going to be putting some money into it. These were cars that were readily available that if you wanted to, you could make it look like this and have some fun with it. You know, I mean, it's not going to cost you an arm or leg or any other body part you don't want to give up. You know, the Ferrari from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you know, come on. I don't want to give up my first child just so I can own that car, you know. But, so there are some cars I had to omit from my list. This is my list. I now want to hear your list. So tell me, video response it, comment, get down and get dirty and tell me what you think are the top 5 car movies of all time. I'm the 13th Wolfman. I'm on the prowl.